Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria ACN, your favorite fashion design tutor. On today's tutorial, we will be making this beautiful Ankara tailored dress. And this is the fabric I'll be using to make this dress. It's three different patterns of Ankara. Before we start, I want to say a very special thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for finding my content useful. I really appreciate. For those of you that are yet to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and subscribe and also like this video and drop a comment before you leave. I'll be using this pattern paper to draft the upper bodies, then place it on the fabric and cut it out. Then I'll be creating the remaining tiers as I sew. Make sure you watch to the end and also give this video a thumbs up. So this is folded into four because I want to cut both the front and the back together. So this side is the folded side, this is the center back and the center front, and this is the side of the dress. I'll start by entering my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Here I marked my shoulder measurement. I'll go down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. And I'll mark my neckline, my neck width. I want my neck width to be 3 inches. And I'm going to connect the neck width to the shoulder slope. From the shoulder slope, I'll go ahead and mark my armhole measurement. So to get my armhole measurement, I will divide my bust measurement by 6. Whatever I have, I will add 1.5 inches and that will give me my armhole measurement. I'm going to draw a line to connect the shoulder slope to my armhole line. And I'm going to look for the midpoint of this measurement. Since my armhole is 8 inches, the midpoint is going to be 4 inches. So where I have the midpoint, I'll go in by half an inch. Then I'm going to connect the half an inch to the shoulder slope. Then I'll come down to my armhole measurement. Come down to this point and enter my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I'm going to draw my armhole curve to connect to the line I just marked. After that, I'm going to come up here and mark my neckline. So for the front neckline, I will divide my bust measurement by 12. Whatever I have, I'm going to mark it as my neck deep. This method usually gives me a perfect neckline. So I'll draw a curve to connect my front neckline to the neck width. Remember, I'm cutting both the front and the back together. So I'll go ahead and mark the back neckline. And I want to use 1.5 for the back. So I'm going to mark 1.5 and then connect it to the neck width. So that is both the front and the back neckline. So I'll go ahead and mark my waistline. From shoulder to my waistline is 17 inches and I'm going to mark 17 inches. I'm going to draw a straight line. So on my waistline, I'll enter my bust measurement divided by 4. I'll come up here and mark my bust measurement divided by 4 as well. Already marked, so that's it. I'm going to draw a straight line to connect it. So this dress doesn't have a dart, it's just this way and we are good. I'm adding 1 inch sewing allowance. That's all the allowance I'm going to add up here. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. Remember, this pattern is for both the front and the back. So I'll go ahead and cut out the pattern, and when I get to the neckline, I'm going to cut out the back neckline first. After cutting out the back neckline, I'll take out the back and before cutting out the front neckline. So this is the back pattern. I'll go ahead and cut out the front neckline now. Then we have the front. Let me just open this up. Look at what we have for the front. This is for the back. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on my fabric and cut it out. So I'm done cutting the front and the back. I'll go ahead and remove the pattern, and then I'll cut out the facing for both the front and the back. So I'm going to keep the fabric aside and use the pattern to cut out the facing. I believe you all know how to cut out facing for your dress, but this one is going to be a little bit tricky. So this is the front pattern, and if you see the front pattern, it has a slit. So I'm going to grate that slit. I'm not going to grate it on the fabric. I just want to grate it on the pattern and then use it to cut out the facing. I want to use it as a guide to cut out the facing. So what I will do is that at the center of this neckline, I will go down by 5 inches. You can decide to go down by 6 or however you want. For mine, I want to use 5 inches. This is 5. And I will draw a straight line from the center front. Straight line from the center of the neckline down to that place I marked. So this will be a guide for my facing, for my front neckline facing. I'll bring in my fabric now. So what I need is just like 3 inches around the neckline. So this is just the shape of the facing I want. So I don't mind cutting it together with the pattern. Since I'm done cutting it out on the fabric, I will not really need the pattern for anything. Or maybe I'll use my tracing wheel. Yes, I'll use my tracing wheel to trace out this shape that I drew. So I'm going to follow the line where I traced, where I use my tracing wheel on. I'm going to just draw the line out before cutting it out. I know you can't see the line, but I can see it from here. That is it. I'm just going to cut that out. It's my front facing. So this is my front facing. Now I'll go ahead and cut the back facing. Back facing do not really need much. Just to place it and cut it 3 inches away from the neckline. Then I'm going to mark 3 inches round. Now cut it out. So this is for my back neckline. Let's proceed to sewing. So I'm going to start with the front. I'll open the front up like this with the right side facing up. Alright. And then I'm going to place the facing on the neckline with the right side facing each other. Okay, I'll use a pin to hold it so it doesn't move. Okay, that will be okay. So I'll come to the center front, the center of the neckline, and I'll mark that 5 inches. This line, I just drew a line if you can see very well. I used a pen because the pencil wasn't coming out, so I used a pen to draw a line 5 inches long from the neckline. It's 5 inches. I want my slits at the front to be 5 inches long, so I draw a line from the center of the neckline to the 5 inches. And if you are if you are drawing this line, make sure it's at the center of your neckline, from the center of the neckline, and make sure it's at the center front. Be sure to confirm that you have it at the center. So the next thing I will do is to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch around the neckline using half an inch. And then after stitching around the neckline, I'll come to this line I drew here. I'm going to stitch 0.5 inch away from the line on both sides of the line. Like I'm going to run a stitch on both sides of the line. Then it's not going to be too far from the line. 0.25 inch is okay from the line. Just run a straight stitch, a tight stitch down on both sides of the line, and then I'm going to do it, and then I'll bring it back. As you can see, I'm done stitching, and you can see the two lines beside the layer using a pen. I also sew around my neckline, as you can see. So now I'll just go ahead and open up the slit following that pencil that I drew, and I will clip around the neckline and turn it to the right side. So I've opened up the slit, and then I've notched around the neckline. I'll just turn the facing in. This is what we have. You can see the slit, it came out very fine, and then see the neckline. So I'll go ahead and turn the back neckline with the facing as well. And this is the back, and this is the facing. I'll just place the facing on top the main piece with the right side facing each other, and I'm going to pin it down. I'll just take it to my machine and run a stitch around it using half an inch, and I'll bring it back. So this is it. I'm done sewing around the neckline. This is for the back, and I'm done. So this is the front. I'm supposed to go ahead and join it, but I can't join it now because there is no light to iron it. So I'll first iron it before I join it. I'm supposed to fold round the facing before I join it, before I even turn it with the main fabric. But because there is no light, that's why I just go ahead and join it. But I will weave it. I use my weaving machine and weave it round before joining it. So let me just notch the back neckline round. I learned it's not notch, it's clip. So this particular one is clip. So I will just clip round the back neckline. So there is notch and there is clip, but this particular one I'm doing now is clip. I just clip around the back neckline. If you are making your own, make sure you first of all fold in your facing before you proceed to fixing it. Okay. So this is the front pattern. It take time to iron the facing. I've also gone ahead to weave around my facing. As you can see, the rough edges is gone. I weave around. But if you don't have access to a weaving machine, you can fold the edges all around. You can just fold it and use hemming gum to hold it down. For my own, I use my weaving machine to weave it round. So you can see, and I also iron, make sure I give it a good press. This is the back. I did the same thing to the back. I weave round the edges of the facing, and I also give it a good press. So now it's time to join the two pieces together. So I'm going to place the front pattern like this, with the right side facing up, and then I'll place the back pattern on top of it, with the right side facing each other like this. The right side of the front and the right side of the back is facing each other. So I'm going to turn the facing of the back to overlap the front piece like this, and then I'll take it to my sewing machine and join it at the shoulder. I'll join the two shoulder and then I'll bring it back. I'm done joining it at the shoulder, the two side. You can see what I have now. You can see what I have. Now the next thing I'll do is to go ahead and turn my armhole with the bias. So this is the bias I'll be using. So to turn this armhole, you're going to open up like this is the front and the back, and just trim the shoulder to be equal. So to turn the armhole with the bias, so I'll open up the bias and place it on the right side of this fabric at the armhole. And I'm going to stitch it round, just round all through the armhole. Then after stitching it, I'll turn it inside and top stitch on it. And then that will take away the rough edge of the armhole. So I'll take it to my machine and do it, then bring it back. So this is it. I'm done turning the armhole with a bias. So it's time to shape it. So I'll turn this to the wrong side. So to shape this dress, I'm just going to place it this way, with the right side facing each other. Then at the armhole, I'm going to make sure that the two armhole, the back and the front armhole, are lined very well. And I'll use a pin to hold it here so it doesn't shift. I'll do the same thing to this side. Now I'll take it to my sewing machine and shape it, and then I'll bring it back. So I'm done shaping it. So the next thing I will do is to join the second layer of this dress, and this is the fabric I want to use as the second layer of this dress. And to know the exact measurement I need, I will minus the half length from the total length of my gown. I want the total length of this gown to be 40 inches, and I already have 17 inches as my half length. So the what is remaining is 23 inches, and we have about two layers left to be joined to this. So I'm going to divide the 23 inches into two. So 23 divided by 2 will give me 11.5, and I'll add 1 inch stitching allowance. That will be 12.5. So the length of this second layer is going to be 12.5, and then the width of it will be determined by the measurement I have around my waist. So I'm going to measure around the waistline, whatever I have, I'll make at least double of that. It depends on how full you want it to be. If you want it to be really, really full, you can make it triple of the measurement you have here, but it should not be less than times 2. So let me measure around. I've measured round, and what I have here is 39. So I'm going to cut that. That's 39 times 2, which will be 78. So what I'm going to be using as the next layer will not be less than 78 inches. I already cut it out, and here it is. So I'll run a loose stitch around it and to create a gathers before joining it to the half length. I'm done making the gathers, and this is what I have. If you don't know how to make gathers, I will show you in my next video how to make gathers easily without wasting time. So when I was making these gathers, I make sure that the total length of this wool is something that can go around the waistline, the exact measurement. So now I will go ahead and fix this to the half length. To fix it, I will just have to loose this the side of this one side of it like about 2 inch inside, so that I can place the start of this, the beginning of the second layer there, and it will go round. So now I'm going to turn this to the right side. So I'm going to place the side that I carded on the half length, starting from the side where I loosen, the side seam where I loosen. I will just place it with the right side facing each other like this. And I'm going to stitch it down following the gathered line, the stitch I made for gathers. I'm going to follow that stitch, and I'll stitch it down around the waistline, and then I'll come back for the next step. So I'm done joining the second layer, and this is what we have. Going to go over to join the third layer. For the third layer, it's going to be the same with this one. This one was 12.5 inches. That was 11.5 inches plus the stitching allowance that made it 12.5 inches. So the third one, I'm just going to add 1 inch for folding. That will make it 13.5 inches, and the width is going to be double, at least double of the measurement we have at the down part here. So this is the fabric I'm using for the third layer. I already cut it out. Is the same length, just added only 1 inch for folding, and then for the length is double of the measurement I have round the hem of this one. So it's so this one was 78, and then I have to cut this one double of the 78 inches. So I'm going to take it to my machine and run a loose stitch, then gathered it, then proceed to joining. Then after I gathered, I'll bring it back and show you how I'm going to join it. So I'm done gathering the third layer, and this is it. So I'm going to join it the exact way I joined the second layer. I'm just going to place it with the right side facing each other, starting from the side that is open. I'm going to place it this way, the right side facing each other. I'm going to stitch it round, and when I'm done, I'll close the opening by the side. I'll shape it down, and I'll fold the hem of this dress, and that will be all. And then I'll show you the results. So I finished joining the third layer, and this is it. You can see. So this side that is open, I'll just go ahead and shape it up down to the hem, and then I'll fold the hem. Go ahead and fold the hem if it needs finishing, and I will wear it and show you what it looks like. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like this video. If you are still watching and you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and make sure you give this video a thumbs up.